Pan-African. Good afternoon, Ghana. Welcome to Pan-African TV, your usual show, Clean Ghana, Our Environment, Our Health. Waste management is a great challenge in developing countries and even most of the developed countries. Back in the days, let's say 2008, Ghana was ranked the second dirtiest country in West Africa, and in Africa was the fourth. And in 2015, again, Ghana was ranked the seventh dirtiest country. The previous government said that he was going to use his first 100 days to curtail the problem. The current government, when he also came, also said that he wants to make Accra the cleanest city. But let's go to the cities and towns and see what is happening. Heaps of refuse, plastics all over. When it is raining, in the skies, you can only see decorated plastics hovering around the skies. And after the rain, the river bodies, instead of the fishes, you see plastics. Today, we are going to talk about sustainable waste management, service delivery in Ghana, a shared responsibility. And I have my guest seated at the studio. And let's go for a quick commercial break, and I will introduce my guest to you. Welcome back, viewers. I have with me a very gentleman, very nice gentleman, all the way from Kumasi, Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and he is an alumni of the Accra School of Hygiene. He has been in the practice for more than 10 years. He's a very gentleman. He knows he has once handled the head of Environmental Health and Sanitation and Promotion Unit in the Accra Metropolitan Assembly in Kumasi. I have with me Mr. Alex Nimako. Welcome to Clean Ghana, Our Environment, Our Health.
Thank you, Bobo.
Yeah, a long time no see you.
Very long time, my brother.
How you doing?
Doing
How
very
is Kumasi?
great.
How is Asantehene?
Cool. He's doing very well.
He's doing very well.
Very, very well.
Mr. Nimako, can you tell me what waste is?
Thank you, Bobo. When we say waste simply refers to any matter, solid, liquid, or gas that has no further use, and it is lying idle and must be disposed of in a sanitary manner.
Okay. So what is waste management?
Waste management, technically, I would say it involves the processes from generation to final disposal in a manner which would not have effect on the health and the environment where people are living. Yeah.
Okay, so when we talk about generation of waste, how do we generate waste?
Yeah. Basically, before I answer this, let me start from somewhere. For waste particularly, when you look at Ghana Environmental Sanitation Policy, 2009-2010, it defines or classified waste into 5 categories.
Okay.
You have domestic, commercial, institutional, industrial, and others. So these particular waste are what the policy defines. Then among this, we have organic, categorized into 2, organic and inorganic. Good. But when you talk about waste generation starts from where human beings create waste. That is, when you begin to create the waste, that is where we say generation of the waste.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Then generation, you go to sorting out, which we are lacking in Ghana here. One of the best steps which facilitate transportation and disposal of waste or treatment of waste, makes it very easy, is what we call sorting out. In advanced countries, they do sorting out. Right after generation, you need to sort out the waste, where you group them in different plastic bins or in different sanitary bins, where you have the biodegradable ones, plastic ones, and other ones also in a different bins. When it happens like this, when you are transporting to the final disposal site, treatment before, it makes it very easy, because at the treatment section, once it has been classified or separated at the point of generation, some can be reused, some can also go through recycling, and the rest. But when you combine all of them, as we are doing currently in Ghana here, where all biodegradable ones, both organic and inorganic, are combined together in one waste bin, it makes treatment and disposal very difficult.
You sure?
Very, very difficult.
Is it the reason why we still can't dispose of our refuse sanitarily?
Not really. What I would say is that for challenges, the challenges are many. The challenges are many. But when we reach there, we will discuss into detail what the challenges are.
Okay. Accra generates, let's say, 3,000 and above tons of metric tons of refuse daily. Any statistics in Kumasi?
Yeah, thank you very much, Bobo. What I would say is that for Kumasi, which happens to be the transit point for over 300,000 people moving in and out of the city daily, taking transport here and there, we generate a total of 1,500 tons a day. Out of this total 1,500 tons a day, we have 90% of the solid waste being collected and disposed of. We're not talking of treatment, being collected and disposed of. The remaining 10% remains uncollected. And when you categorize these 1,500 tons a day into organic and inorganic, you have the organic component constituting about 62% of the waste we generate in Kumasi, and the inorganic constituting 38%. Okay. And out of this 38%, we have the plastic waste, which constitute about 14%. That we are trying, or city authorities are trying very hard to control, because it's now becoming a menace everywhere in Ghana. Plastic everywhere. Okay,
which means that you said 62%.
62%
is what?
Organic with us, they are the ones that can be decayed naturally. Biodegradable ones, leftover foods, cardboards, papers, wood, and many others that when they are left on the environment with time, they will decay.
Okay, so that with that I get it clear. Based on you said sorting out after the generation.
Yes, right after generation.
Very important.
Very important. Very important.
Which means if we are supposed to sort out our waste, about this 62% won't even reach the final disposal
site. The volume of refuse transported to the dumping site will reduce.
Will reduce.
Definitely.
By 62%.
It will reduce, not by 62%, but the quantity will reduce, because once proper sorting out has been done, it is expected that the volume will reduce. Let's take, for instance, empty can. Mixing an empty can with biodegradable substance like leftover food and other stuff, foodstuffs. You can see that it will occupy space within the waste bin. So when you remove these plastic or metal cans from in and group them in one box, metals, plastic, the inorganic ones here, then the organic ones here. Even the organic one, when we reach the treatment side, it can also be reused. It can be reduced. It can be recycled and recovered back again.
Do we do recycling in Ghana?
Yes, recently. For some years back, we were not doing recycling. But recently, private sector, private government partnership, private-public partnership have come to play. And now, a lot of institutions are coming up with recycling plants. I will mention specifically Zoom Lion, Zoom Park, where they have biomedical waste treatment plant. Then we have Accra composting and recycling plant. Then currently also in Kumasi, Adija, project is ongoing about Kumasi recycling and composting plant, which seems to be one of the modernized methods they are bringing into Kumasi. So you see, now that investors are coming in, is where we are going to talk about managing waste. Because formerly, you collect, you dump, no treatment. Yes, at the dumping site.
Okay. How should we dispose of our refuse sanitarily?
Good. You have asked a very intelligent question, Bobo. I will state that we shouldn't forget the fact that managing waste has gotten so many principles or steps to follow. You start from generation, where you begin to create the waste. You sort out, you need to have a bin. That's the storage. You can't just go anywhere, stay anywhere without having a bin. As people are doing in Ghana here, they pack all the waste in a sack. When it is raining, then they bring that side. Using sack for storing of refuse is prohibited. It's unacceptable. So, for me, for storage, when we come to solutions to sustainable waste management, I would personally prefer that authorities will enact bylaws to compel households or individual institutions to own a bin, a suitable waste bin.
Okay, but we haven't.
Then from the storage, we come to collection and transportation.
But I want I mean, when waste has been collected to the final disposal site.
Good.
How should it be? Whether they treat it or how should it be disposed of sanitary so that it doesn't pose hazard to people around and
Thank you very much, Bobo. What I will say is that for some years back, 10, 15 years ago, we collect solid waste, specifically solid waste, and dump them at the dumping site. But currently, engineer landfill sites are there, which when they dispose it off over there, before they dispose it off, it will go through so many treatment processes.
Okay.
When it comes to Accra recycling and composting plant, which I've been there before, it goes through so many processes. We have a recycling composting there, where all the biodegradable ones passes through to do a lot of sorting out over there because we did not do sorting at the beginning of generation. Then it goes through processes before the rare compost comes out for packaging. Then others like cans, bottles, plastic also go through different recycling processes, where for plastics, they shred them. We have a shredding machine which will shred them into pellets. Then it goes through processes and they bag them. So when they bag them, it serves as a raw material which they can add it to granule to produce other plastic products. So you see, in terms, we have cost recovery at the end of the day.
Nice one. How many final disposal sites do you have in Kumasi?
To be honest with you, we have Oti landfill site, then we have one also at Kuwait. But the rest, within the Shanti region, I would say it's a dumping site, but not engineered landfill site. Okay.
Oh, nice. The show is on. You are watching us live from the studios of Pan-African TV. This is Clean Ghana, our environment, our health. And we are talking about sustainable waste management service delivery in Ghana, a shared responsibility. If it is a shared responsibility, then you watching me being the host and the guest, we all have a responsible to play. Okay, so I will play my part. He will also play his part. And you there, you also play your part. Let's go for a quick commercial break and we will continue from there.
Today, we can trust sources of water anymore. Confidence is gone due to human activities. Same human activities introduces well-mechanized machines which purifies water. I bring to you ultimate natural mineral water. Deep from underground, tasty, well-purified and corporately packaged. Ultimate natural mineral water. Let's drink the new. For bulk, call 020-379-1888 or 0244-515-801. Ultimate natural mineral water. My water, your water, our water.
Welcome back, viewers. I'm here with Mr. Alex Nimako, all the way from the Ashanti region, and we are having a nice conversation. But don't forget to send your text messages through the WhatsApp, the line on the screen. Mr. Alex Nimako.
Bobo.
Can Ghana have a sustainable waste management?
It's a very questionable question. Very difficult question. It is feasible, but challenging.
How challenging it is?
Yeah. There are a lot of challenges when it comes to waste management, because waste management is just a single component of environmental sanitation. And the challenges, I've classified them into 5 categories.
Oh, nice.
I have the policy level challenges, operational challenges, then the private sector challenges, individual and community challenges, and household challenges. These areas all face great challenges when it comes to sustainable waste management.
Okay, so you will take them one after the other.
Yes, I
If you talk about the policy level as a challenge, can you elaborate it so that we can fill in?
Yeah, what I say is a challenge is that at the national level, there is no clear-cut review policy and strategy for environmental health and sanitation in Ghana.
Oh, but we have
2010, 2000 and 2010. But as at night, has not been. That one was meant to deal with the Millennium Development Goal, which ended in 2015. So the policy needs to be reviewed to meet the Sustainable Development Goal, which is currently ongoing.
Oh, okay.
And Ghana, His Excellency the President is co-chairman to Sustainable Development Goal.
Okay.
So it is high time at the policy level, policymakers over there need to sit and review the environmental sanitation policy.
The last time I think we brought the big man to the studio and he said it's an ongoing process.
Also, there is non-existence of organizational structure at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
And what do you mean by that?
I would say structural incoherence. Because at the within the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, environmental health and sanitation were supposed to have a directorate, where under each directorate, a sub-unit or HES will be there so that they can advise when it comes to human resource issues relating to the environmental health officers or environmental health staff at the local level, at the operational level. But these things are non-existent. So postings, transfer, appointments are done in a way that people see it to be not in a professional manner. Excuse me to use my word. Because I believe that if these organizational structures are there, they will be able to guide.
No, but if you're talking about the local government, there used to be the directorate. Now, when the young ministry came up, I mean the sanitation ministry, then they moved them to the said ministry. So I think it's a process.
That is why I said it's structural incoherence. Because now, it has happened before. Some years back, environmental health and sanitation, we were technically under Ministry of Health, but administratively under Ministry of Local Government. And now it has happened again. Technically, environmental health and sanitation, waste management are supposed to be under Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, but administratively, Ministry of Local Government. So you can see the structural incoherence. So right now, when you have any challenges with regards to posting, transfers, policies, are you going to Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, or you're going to Ministry of Local Government?
I think I
so
don't
there
know
must be
yet,
a
but
clear-cut structure.
I think because the distance is the ministry is young, you know, they can't move everything there. But I think it's a process. But do you think now they have created Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Sanitation and Water Development,
Water Resource,
sorry. And do you think we should have a service under the ministry?
Yes, with time we should have. With time we should have. When they are resourced very well by the government, I think with time they should have a services under it so that they can move straight all environmental sanitation services under straight, so that once they are sanitation and water resources, then environmental comes under it straight, including waste management. Yes.
So that their work, your work won't be
there will not be any interference, any problems with it. Okay. Then at the policy level also, the at the highest level, the nationally, they must establish national sanitation authority.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, the authority must come in to formulate policy strategies so that dealing with sustainable waste management or sanitation will be very effective. But now we don't have any authority. We don't have authority. And again, too, there should be establishment of National Sanitation Fund. There should be a fund so that the fund is what is going to be used for. The fund, money from the funds are going to be used for implementation of the policies.
Oh,
but we don't have a fund.
But the sanitation ministry is there, so the fund goes to them directly for me to be used for this.
It has not been established.
It's not been established.
Not in existence.
Okay.
But we are advocating that at the policy level, they should establish it.
Okay. So
authority and fund.
So we also keep on advocating for you so that you have that establishment so that you can be autonomous body on your own. Okay. So let us come to the organizational level. What is the challenge under the organizational level?
Yeah, at the organizational level, as I said, we're supposed to have a director at the Ministry of Local Government. Then also under the director, have a unit, different category of unit, environmental health and management unit there. Then we have environmental health education and research, whatever. All the units as established by the policy 2009-2010 environmental sanitation policy. It must be established there so that all policy strategies from the national will be directed or decentralized to MMD, our Regional Coordinating Council, then straight to the MMDAs for policy implementation.
Okay, if I can get or digest what you are telling my viewers now, I think I have hosted a lot of your colleagues here, and you have a lot to do. In terms of when you go to school, you are the same person or the same staff handling disinfection and disinfestation. I'm coming. Talking about food and meat hygiene, talking about waste management, So are you saying that all these programmable courses that you have or the direct that you do, you should have a unit under the said that will come under the said authority or the said organogram?
Thank you, Bobo. At the national level, the structure differs. But when you come to the operational level, where the challenges are, that is where operationally, for all sanitation policies and strategies to work effectively at the MMDAs, Metropolitan Municipal and District Assemblies, environmental health and sanitation should have an organogram. We have the head, waste management department will be there separately, with dealing with liquid and solid and other structure. Then the environmental health and sanitation department will have a head, then other subunit, environmental protection and enforcement unit, food hygiene and safety, health education and promotion. All these structures must be there. All these structures must be there so that assigning responsibilities will be very easy.
Very easy.
Recently now you go to MMDAs and all the officers are just there. Only the head leading everything, but they should decentralize it, have organogram, a structure, so that if the information from national can come all the way to region, then region will decentralize. Even as at now, I can confidently tell you that we were supposed to have a structure, organizational structure, at the regional level. At the regional environmental health office, there should be a structure there where the regional director will be there, have 3 sub-units there, so that information from the top will decentralize to region, then region to the MMDAs, so that implementation becomes easy. And with all this, once we have the authority and the fund created, whatever policy or strategy we bring or program, the fund will be able to support for implementation.
Nice.
All these are not in existence, because when you go to district, you see only the district head. Only the best. When we talk about waste management, you can't do with waste management without environmental health and sanitation, because it's just a component. So we tackle it from the generation point.
But there is a waste management department under the...
They are there. They manage only their responsibility for waste management, collection, transportation, treatment and disposal. But we have forgotten that it started from somewhere before it got into transportation.
Okay.
Yes. Where it started from is where the environmental officers come in at the grassroots. Yes. People later anyhow. So at the operational level, I was proposing that MNDAs, when you look at the local governance at 2016, Act 639, they have the willpower to enact bylaws that will compel people or households or institutions to own a bin, so that at the generation point, they will have a suitable bin to keep in their waste or to store their waste, so that when they have it in a very suitable bins, transportation for treatment and disposal become easy. But now in Ghana, go to about 100 homes. 70% of the homes are having non-suitable bins for collection of or storage of what? Waste, which is unacceptable. Because if you use polythene bag...
Is it a duty of the government to provide dustbins for the household, or they have to own it themselves?
Well, it's in two parts. I'll answer this in two parts. One, individuals have a responsibility to play. As you eat and generate waste, you need to take care of the waste you generate. So the individual have the right, and it is their responsibility to provide, have their own bins.
Okay.
But as I say, human nature, the assemblies, our local MMDs have to enact bylaws to enforce people, because now people don't regard or prioritize sanitation or waste management. It starts from generation. So there must be a bylaw compelling people at all costs. You can't just be at a place without generating waste without having a receptacle for keeping or storing the waste.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so quickly, let's go to the private sector level.
Yes.
What is the challenge also there?
Yeah, when you look at the private sector, it has gotten a lot of challenge. One of the challenges is that they lack infrastructures. Recently, that Zoom Lion began to put up infrastructures to treat waste before they dispose of. So let's ask ourselves, so years back, what were they doing? What were they doing?
They were doing their part. They were playing
collection and disposal. It was just collection.
It's also
and disposal.
part of.
Do you know, at the operational level, supervision is very low, because technical officers who are environmental officers who are supposed to supervise and monitor the activities of this private sector are not resourced.
Why?
They are not resourced. Even when it comes to signing of contract with waste collection service, environmental health and sanitation department head need to advise authorities, administration on one or two issues, draw policies on it.
You think they don't do that?
To me, if they do, then why not we supervise them? Because when you go out there, the private sector, they are doing well, but to me, it's not enough. It's not enough.
But again, the sanitation policy states that 80% of the waste management should be handled by the private.
80% of the sanitation activities should be sublet to the private sector.
To the private sector, and the 20%, which is monitoring and evaluation, should be done by. So I think it's on course.
It's not. It's never on course.
It's on course.
To me personally, and what I've learned from the field over the years, I think government need to own sanitation infrastructures.
Not the
waste
private.
management. Private should come in, but government need also have some.
But the government has 20%.
20% is too small, which means that is why the policy need to be reviewed. It needs to be reviewed.
But you think the 20% that the government owns is creating problems?
A lot.
What are some of the problems?
Because
the challenges?
Now, about 80% of the contract has been sublet to the private sector. The common fund component for sanitation goes there straight. So what is left for sensitization? What is left for changing behaviors? Meanwhile, at the grassroots level, at the operational level, environmental officers and allied institutions need to engage with what? People on the ground. Educate them, sensitize them on sanitation, let them know, create the awareness, and creating awareness, it goes beyond anything. Resource them to have logistics to reach out to people everywhere. They don't have resources, all because 80% of the common fund component of sanitation have been sublet, and the little that will be given to the assembly, I don't think they will use that one for empowering or resourcing them. They can't, and it's very difficult for them. If usually they have their will, to me, if the assemblies have their will, as I keep on saying, it will be far better than we used to see. Because in this case, they will go in for their own waste management contractors or service providers, give them a strict modalities or policies and strategies, and if they fail, they take them on. But now, 80%, you are already crippled.
Why crippled?
You are crippled because they have all the infrastructures. And once they have the infrastructures, you rely on them. So what? Even if you owe them a little, you can't talk.
Has it come to a point that, like, let's say KMA, you do owe a private company?
Oh, for sure. Just last year, environmental subcommittee, which I was a member by then, we came to Accra to pay a courtesy call to Accra Metropolitan Assembly, environmental and disaster subcommittee. We had interaction just to exchange intercity collaboration to improve sanitation. Then, as part of that, we pay a courtesy call to the regional, to the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, where we told her about our grievances, where sanitation service providers, where we owe them, KMA owe them huge sums of money, and we are appealing to the minister to come to our aid. So you can imagine that you owe somebody over billions of cedis, and you are going to supervise the person, evaluate the person, and tell the person to do according to your wish. Will it be possible? Yes.
So how many percentage do you think should go to be subletted to the private companies?
At least 40% to the private sector is not bad, because that one will give the government strength more. Because when the government have the infrastructures, the logistics, the government can even employ more. Although I'm not condemning that the private sector shouldn't come in, they should come in, but it should be in a form of public-private partnership.
Nice one. Okay. So impressed. Let's go to the challenges on the individuals and the communities.
Yes, for the individuals and the communities, the challenge is that the individuals, they don't see sanitation as their priority. They think government must do everything when it comes to sanitation or waste management. But to me, I see that they have a big role to play. Households, every household in Ghana need to have a minimum or a criteria. They should have affordable being within their house. They should have potable water. They should have sanitary facilities like toilet facility. All the sanitation components should be available within every house by them, not government. And they should be responsible for transferring the waste from their house to the transfer stations. Because at the operational levels, where MMDAs were supposed to create a lot of transfer stations to have communal containers there for the public to dump in, you don't see, all because we have sublet the contract to the private sector, which is doing what he wants. Meanwhile, we should have a lot of transfer stations where individuals, households within the community can go there and dump in their refuse. Then onward, they transfer it to the treatment and final disposal site. So you see the challenges. So the individuals also, as I see, because they don't see sanitation as their priority. Look at it recently on social media, where people carry their waste from their houses when it is raining, they dump it into the drain, thinking that the drain will carry it away, forgetting that the drains were created for water or wastewater to flow in. That is the way where the wastewater flow. It is not the way for solid waste to be kept.
Okay, so do you think that the individuals are aware of their responsibility towards sanitation or waste management?
Yeah, I would say yes and no. The yes is that once you generate waste, in the olden days, when I was very young, I was sent to go to the dumping site where you used to call bolaso. You will carry your own waste from your house to the dumping site, which means the individual knows. And on the other hand, I would say that the MMDAs have a huge responsibility to start continual health education and promotion on sanitation, to create a lot of awareness, to make the community, the people or the citizens aware that this is what will happen. It should be continuous. It shouldn't just be a one-off. Something happens, then we come out to do sensitization, then all over it goes off. But it should be continuous on all social media platforms, radio, TV, Facebook, wherever, where people, even when you come to stakeholders, I'll come back to that place also. People must be educated, sensitized on the consequence of what they are doing, their actions on the environment or sanitation, so that they will be, when they become conscientized, what they do to the environment, what they do, they will stop. But for now, it seems they know, but it seems they don't know. So the assembly has a huge, enact laws let the law also work, because as at now, the operational level, there is ineffective enforcement. Ineffective law enforcement. Because now, if you enforce the law, you take on sanitary offender, somebody will come and interfere. So
why,
how do you
interfere?
Yes, it do happen. I'm telling you practical things that are happening.
Like how? I don't
It do happens.
Who will interfere?
Those people who see themselves as big men within the community or the society will call you, sit you down. This person is my colleague. I know this person, and you have to sit down amicably and solve the matter. I don't see it that way. I think the law must work.
Okay, the law must work. Let's still on the household level.
Yeah.
Assuming, no, not even assuming, I have registered with one of the companies that have to come to my house to collect my refuse. I have bought my own dustbins. Now the refuse, they gave me they will come twice a week. Within a week, they never came. The next week, they never came. What should I do?
That is the challenges we have in the private sector. Now, because of poor supervision, the private sector work is inefficient. He will tell you come and lift lifting frequency twice a week. He will not come. And the authorities will not do anything to him. Meanwhile, before you sign contract with the service provider, you stated all the strategies or the policies what you want him to follow to control or manage the waste. So why don't you go by the policy you gave him, take him all, but they will sit behind. So you see how it is. So at the operational level, authorities are part of it at the MMDA. When you find out that this is what is happening and the community report, authorities must take them on, because you gave them the contract to sign. You set up the modalities for them to follow. So if you sign modalities or you set up a contract criteria for somebody, he signs and the person defaults, what do we do? Let the law works. If we fail to implement or do proper supervision and monitoring, no, we can't manage waste.
So you don't take them on when such action, act happens.
Let's ask ourselves: don't we see some when we go outside? Our authorities, don't they pass there? They pass by there every day. They know what is going on. The law. I keep on saying that if we want sustainable sanitation, then the law must work.
The law.
They must enact a lot of laws, ensure that the law they enact will not be in the books, but will be practically implemented.
Yeah, actually, that was what I was coming to, because already the laws are there. Only it is not being implemented or enforced
But even still, they need to be more, because now the MMDs, although our discussion is specifically on solid waste, let me bring in something. Our president is co-founder, a co-chairman to the Sustainable Development Goal. Per performance contract that was signed by the MMDA, MMDCs, they are supposed to increase household toilet in their MMDs. We advocated. We started from the regional monitoring and visitation, and we started from all the 43 districts advocating that MMDs should enact bylaw to compel people to have toilet in their house. As at now, it has not been gazetted. So can we take people on? You can't, because there's no bylaw. But then we have to do more. We have to do more. Enact, you see, gazette the bylaw so that officers on the field will be strong because they have the law, so they can take people on. And in this case, it will enforce people to have the toilet in their house. Likewise, people are not having suitable waste bin for storage of what? Solid waste in their houses. And we are not enacting law. So I'm urging and appealing and advocating to MMDs, that our assembly members, when they go to General Assembly, they should enact bylaws that will compel people to have suitable bins. Because if you have suitable bins, you bring it outside. Transferring the waste as it has been properly stored will not be a problem. But when you have a polythene bag, a sack, waste in a sack, in a cardboard, definitely when the child is going for disposal, he will even dispose it off within the drain, behind buildings, on bushes, anywhere. But when they are properly kept in a bin, I think that is where it starts from. You must get a bin, something suitable.
The individuals have already placed their rules.
Yeah, that's their role. They need to have. But the assembly and the operation need to enact a bylaw to tackle them, so that they know that if they've forgotten their responsibility, the law or the bylaw remind them to do as expected.
Okay, let's quickly take the last action that is on the stakeholders level.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, at the stakeholders level, the challenge we're having is that most of the stakeholders, like the churches, religious leaders, traditional leaders, they are doing their best, but they should do more.
But that is not their responsibility.
Waste management or sanitation is a shared responsibility. It's a shared responsibility.
So you are thinking, when I come to being a pastor and I go to church, I should be preaching sanitation to the people?
Definitely, but it's in the Bible.
The Bible says we should preach sanitation?
It's in the Bible. Sanitation is very important. It's in the Bible. So, for me, stakeholders, recently in Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, we did a pilot project where we engaged traditional leaders, queen mothers, where we empowered them, we give them in-service training to lead the crusade for proper waste management or sanitation in our cities. So when we get to Dichemso, Krofrum, wherever community we get to, the queen mother of the community will get on board. We train her, we give her informal training to do sensitization using a mic in a car, telling the people traditionally that the land belongs to us and we are not going to sit down for you to spoil the land because it goes contrary to our culture and our tradition. So if you have found dumping behind doors, dumping in drains, dumping in unauthorized places, you'll be called before the king of a shanty. If they say you'll be called or someone before the king of him, so then people begin to shake. Then within 2 weeks, we saw a dramatic change. Wow. So why then that the authorities did not empower these people or encourage them to continue? And again, to why then these stakeholders also did not continue? Now, Ghana, religious leaders play important role when it comes to Ghana development. I'm urging and advocating that religious leaders should take it up. Whenever they go to church, have you ever gone to church and see pockets of refuse there before? No. But these same people come from the church and come and litter the environment, do contrary to sanitation. So, religious leaders have the role.
But even the church premises, you can see littering.
Yes. So, religious leaders have, that's why I'm saying stakeholders have a role. Religious leaders have a role to play as part of their preaching. They have to bring it along. Make people aware that God doesn't want the environment to be dirty. Because the more the environment becomes dirty, the more you are sending away the good spirit of God. Yes, really? Yes.
Okay, that is what they say.
Cleanliness is next to
godliness. Yes, cleanliness is next to godliness. Yes. So everybody has a role to play. I have a role to play. The religious leaders have a role to play. And the assemblymen also have a role to play. Don't just go and sit and talk politics. Yes, waste management, sanitation is also part of your enact the laws. Bring together so that we all can enjoy a clean Ghana. Let's go for a quick commercial break and we will take it off from there.
Today, we can't trust sources of water anymore. Confidence is gone due to human activities. Same human activities introduces well-mechanized machines which purifies water. I bring to you ultimate natural mineral water. Deep from underground, tasty, well-purified and corporately packaged. Ultimate natural mineral water. Let's drink the new. For bulk, call 020-379-1888 or 0244-515-801. Ultimate natural mineral water. My water, your water, our water.
My people, it's bad to live in a dirty environment. Malaria, cholera, and other preventable diseases come as a result of insanitary and unhygienic practices. We can give you free mosquito nets, free drugs, but trust me, Aya, you can still fall sick and die if you still live in a dirty environment. Be wise and stay clean, my people, cause prevention is better than cure. What I say?
Change your behavior. I say change your attitude. Change your behavior. I say change your attitude.
Everywhere they poo-poo, everywhere they litter, everywhere they wee-wee. Bola, bola. Everywhere they poo-poo,
Welcome, viewers. In case you just tune in, we are having a discussion on sustainable waste management service delivery in Ghana, a shared responsibility. And I have with me a rep from the environmental health practice in Ghana. That is Mr. Alex Nimako, all the way from Kumasi, the Osekrum, Ashanti region. Mr. Nimako.
Bobo.
Is there any effect on improper waste disposal?
Yes. Yes, there are a lot of effects. Not only one, many.
Okay.
But I'll group them under 3 categories.
Okay.
Environmental effect, health effect, and economic effect. So for the environmental effect, you could see it distorts the aesthetic beauty of the environment. People come into Ghana from outside and they come and witness pockets of refuse everywhere. Refuse being dumped into drains. Drains are choked, breeding mosquitoes and vermin.
Vermin, what is vermin?
All the insects of public health importance.
Okay.
All insects
of public health importance. It means you...
Mosquitoes, flies, and name them.
So they are important to us? Oh.
When we say public health importance, it means that they have effect on our public health.
That positive effect or negative?
Negative effect on us.
I like positive effects. Okay, so what again?
There are many. Also, flooding. See the environment nowadays, because of our poor attitude towards sanitation, people dump their refuse into what? Drains, water bodies, unauthorized places, in the night and daytime, without even thinking that their life depends on the environment. Because where you live determines how much you can sustain life. You can't just destroy the environment using waste. And when you dump into this drain and get choked, flooding happens, breeding happens, breeding of mosquitoes, and you know malaria is just around the corner. Malaria, which is preventable. So can we continue to let malaria kill people in Ghana for many years as keeps on killing people? Can't we just do something about it? Because it's preventable. Environmental, you can prevent malaria.
Malaria is preventable.
Yeah, it's preventable. It's a sanitation, it's sanitation related disease. So prevention, you have environmental preventive measures there.
Okay, this just brings me to a question or something that came across the media, that they are going to vaccinate people with malaria vaccine. So I think that one can even solve the malaria.
No.
We shouldn't go for vaccines.
We shouldn't go for those things at all. As of now, we shouldn't. What we have to do is that for treated bed net, you see, I support.
Okay.
Because if prevention fails, then we must control. And controlling it, bed nets are there, treated bed nets are there. But for preventive aspect, it's where Ghanaians must draw more emphasis on. We must prevent before it happens. Because to drive away mosquitoes, which brings about malaria, weed around your compound, because the mosquitoes that spread or that contain the malaria parasite, they need just a little water to breed. Weed around your houses so that the leaves will not collect any pocket of water for mosquitoes to breed. Make sure you drain all water, stagnated water in and around the houses. Take away all RPCs, that's reasonable preventable containers, coconut husk, all cans away, so that those things accumulate water for mosquitoes to breed. When you do this, you are indirectly sending them away, because things that will help them to harbor them, to get a place to breed, you are taking it out of the environment. So where would they be? And they have a short lifespan on Earth. So this is what we have to go for. But if it fails, then control measures are there, where you can go in for the bed treated net to control the malaria, the parasite from biting you.
Okay.
So the environment, it has a great effect on the environment. Producing offensive odor, because people dump elsewhere. And you can imagine the odor that comes, because we don't do sorting out. We mix all together and it creates offensive smell. Then when you come back to the health effect, imagine the number of environmental related diseases that spread within the country. Malaria, typhoid, cholera. As for cholera, it's a third world disease. But Ghana currently, we experience it more periodically than anywhere. Yeah, We do have. Formerly, now I thought how we are developing as a nation, cholera should be a thing of the past for Ghana. But now, it do happens. Although we have not heard of incidents, many incidents this year or incidents this year, but it's something that we have to do away with it at all. We have to just do away. We have to prevent it one time. Because cholera, how does it come about?
I don't know. You have to tell us.
Improper disposal of what? Human excreta. Yeah.
I mean, so if I don't...
That one is liquid waste. We'll come back to it then later when the next time we come on show, we deal properly with liquid waste.
Okay.
So you can imagine the health effect it has on us. A lot of diseases, environmental diseases, when you go to hospitals and clinics now, OPD cases, about 70% or 65 to 70% of them are environmental related, which is preventable.
Really?
Yeah. They are preventable.
So we can prevent all those?
We can prevent. Because if we're able to maintain a good environment, improve on our sanitation, all these things will be off.
Wow.
But we have intentionally refused to do it. Knowing that all these category of people, the home, the individual community, stakeholders, policymakers, all these levels have a role to play. And we have either neglected our roles or we don't really understand what sanitation or waste management means. Either we have neglected or we don't understand. If we really understand and prioritize it, then I think we have to sit up and think about sustainability.
Okay. So quickly, let's go to the economic.
Let's imagine the amount of drugs government import, or the chemical or the generic agents or the chemical they import from outside to make these malaria drugs and other drugs that are used for treatment of preventable diseases are very high. And look at even the amount of money government spends every year on sanitation. It's alarming.
Huge money.
Huge.
How huge it is?
More than $1 million. More than $1 million. Just even 500 million is not easy. That more than 1 million is not easy money. Any government spend all this every year on sanitation, more than this. You can imagine how much the state is losing. Meanwhile, the state would have even used this money for different kind of development. But sanitation has taken a lot of money away. So it's better we sit up and restructure our system. We play our roles individually and as an institution, and ensure that we all improve on our sanitation.
Okay, so let's quickly go to the text messages. This one is from... okay, so your final word for our viewers.
Yeah, Bobo, my final word is that... I'm advocating and appealing also to the central government to help us establish the National Sanitation Authority and also establishing the National Sanitation Fund. And also authorities at the top need to at least help us get a structure, organizational structure at the policy level. Then decentralize the same structure to the MMDs. And MMDs also, our appeal to them to ensure that they enact bylaws that will compel people at all costs to have bins, to have toilets in their house, and also resource field officers like environmental officers, environmental staff, to do their house-to-house inspection and enforcement compliance, so that the whole country will be sanitized. Because if environmental officers do not go house to house to ensure enforcement compliance, then I don't think we will go ahead, we will move ahead, because waste management departments are there to collect the waste, transport, treat, and dispose of. What about the generation and sorting outside, which deals specifically about this inspection, then enforce compliance, allowing us to implement the law, let the law work, so that there will be sanity in Ghana. Okay.
This one is from Bain, say that you are doing well. In fact, you have said it all. And kudos. The next one is also from Amega from Chufupra. So he said Ghanaians are not ready to change their attitude, and such education should go on for us to change their attitude. One, Jamila, also from Hafasni, he said you are doing great job, keep it up, and a whole lot of messages coming through. Mr. Nimako, all the way from Osekro. Thank you for hosting you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for hosting
You're
me. In
welcome.
fact, you have educated my viewers for, things that I don't even know. And now they do know. I think we are going to also play our part in the sustainability. Viewers, you've heard it yourself. For us to sustain our waste management service in Ghana, I have a role. You have a role. Everybody has a role. The government has a role. The government is going to play his part. So you also have to make sure you play your part. We saw some videos on the social media during the rain, the downpour, and I think those people involved have been arrested. If we are doing such thing to our environment, I don't think it's going to be well with us. So that is the reason why we have even brought up this educational program for you sitting home comfortably to listen, so that you can also change your behavior and attitude, so that everybody will play the part. But if you dump in the gutters, when you wait, you pile up your refuse, and when it's about to rain, you go and pour it into the rain. I think it's not fair at all. And we are going to arrest and keep on arresting such people, the recalcitrant people that have been doing so. We are not going to leave any stone unturned, and no political interference can come into the play for us to change our mind. We are going to arrest you, so make sure you own a dustbin. Make sure you register with the waste contractor within your municipality, so that they can lift up your bin for you. Next week, we are going to talk about the almighty topic, OD, open defecation. And it's going to be a challenging issue, but we are going to digest it very well for everybody to know the impact, what really happens when you defecate openly. My name is Bobo, and I am your host for Clean Ghana. Catch you next week.
So when you one can some, they might to some